Economy will ultimately go back to normal and property prices will then increase.
Hello everybody, I'm Ivan.
And I'm Sean.
And today we are going to be sharing about the opportunities in 2021. Okay, so where are the opportunities that we can invest in today? This is the key thing that we want to be answered today.
So we're going to talk about the three opportunities over here, and it's going to be Singapore residential, Singapore industrial property, and overseas residential property as well. The first opportunity I would say is actually in this very niche is the one beders in condo or private condos itself.
In a recent URA ruling, our government has changed the average size of each unit from 70 square meters to 80 to 100 square meters depending on the location. So let's talk about an 80 square meter unit. For developers to build a 1-bedroom unit at like about 50 square meters, it has to build a 3 or 4-bedroom unit at about 110 square meters. And because of this, right, the developers will find it harder to sell the 110 square meter unit purely because of its size and quantum. And so, developers may rather choose to build 2-bedroom units at 80 square meter each.
Now you might argue that, say that, hey, developer can just build a larger 1-bedder, right? But the key thing is this, the larger the 1-bedder means that it's going to be more expensive. When it's more expensive, there's only so much someone is willing to pay for a 1-bedder. Until then, they will just rather buy that 2-bedder instead of 1-bedder.
Yeah, so what we expect, right, is that developers will choose to build more 2-bedders and 3-bedders rather than building the 1-bedder. And because of this, what we see is that in the market, there will be a shortage of supply for new 1-bedders. When this happens, what you will see is that the supply will remain constant, but as the demand comes in from like our population or from like our foreign friends that is coming into Singapore to work, right, what we see is that demand increase, supply remain constant. The only way is that rental rates will increase, and with rental increasing, so will rental yield, and with rental yield increasing, this is where we can get our potential capital appreciation.
Now just look at it in very logical format. If opposite the new launch is selling at, let's say, $1 million for a 1-bedder, right? If you do not believe, right, just go and take a look at all the new launch prices. It's insane. The prices have already gone up for 1-bedder. Now coming back, comparing the fact that if you buy a resale 1-bedder, let's say it's 700 or 800k, this only means one thing: with limited supply, the new launch, after holding for 5 years to be built finish, no way the guy is gonna sell it at a lower price than what he bought. Therefore, we can only expect the resale 1-bedders to have increase in demand, which means that we have an increase in price.
So guys, if you have learned something from this section so far, right, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. So the thumbs up look like this, okay? It does not look like this. So please give us the right direction, okay? And next, right, the point number 2 that we are going to be talking about is
industrial properties. So what are the opportunities in industrial property today? Now, think about it. There are clear winners now during this entire pandemic. And I would say that two of the biggest winners are actually tech companies and e-commerce companies.
So if you're talking about e-commerce companies, right, they actually need space like in the B1 and B2. So it's more used as warehousing space for their products. And if you're talking about tech companies, right, they will need more of a B1 space because these are actually the more cleaner space, right, so that they can operate their businesses inside it.
And definitely, if we are looking at e-commerce companies, they will no matter what need storage space, and they want to have the cheapest form of rental, and that would just means industrial property. I'm not sure about you guys, but personally I've shopped more than ever, even as compared to with pre-pandemic, right? How about you, Ivan?
For me, I've always been shopping online. I'd rather like shop online, use my phone rather than going to the shop itself.
So guys, I mean, if you are like me, alright, that actually find your spending habits more towards the online, especially during this pandemic period, let us know, drop in the comments below and let us know how have your spending habits actually changed during this period itself. And the third opportunity is actually opportunities in the overseas market. Guys, the world is your oyster. We don't just look at Singapore, we got to look globally. Now, we are pretty fortunate in Singapore. I think the pandemic has been pretty controlled, but that cannot be said for overseas. And with high infection rate overseas, we can only expect that the economy is not as stable. And this also means that there are opportunities.
When economies are unstable, it's actually harder to get financing from the banks. And because of this, think about it. Is it better to be buying properties when it's harder to get financing, or is it better to be buying properties when it's easy to get financing? So the answer is actually it's better to be buying properties when it's harder to get financing. Why? Developers will have no choice, right, but to price the property properties at more attractive prices to attract in the buyers.
Well, of course, some countries are going to recover faster. Therefore, handpick those countries that you think will recover first. Now, once again, vaccine is around the corner. What we want to do now is grab the opportunity in front of us, which is in 2021, and ultimately, everyone will be vaccinated, which means economy will ultimately go back to normal and property prices will then increase.
So I hope all of you have learned something from this video today, and if you did, right, give us a thumbs up and click on the subscribe button, right, so that we can give you and deliver to you more videos and for your learning pleasure. Ta-da!
And with this, we conclude the 3 opportunities when it comes to property investment in 2021.
Yeah! Bye!